I want to give you a bunch of ways to make your kavonah more effective. How to increase kavonah. This is awesome. This is based mostly on a shir from Rav Moshe Meir Weiss Shlita. Beautiful, beautiful ideas. There's a chazal. It's a medrash that says the following: Abba Shaul Omer, Zeh Simen L'Tefilla. This is a sign that your tefillah is going to be accepted. Im kivein adam liboy l'tefillah yehe muvtach shetfilasai nishmas. If you have kavonah, you can be sure your tefillah is going to be heard. How do you know that? The raya from the pasuk is Tachein libam takshiv aznecha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when you prepare their hearts, then your ears will listen. You make your ears listen. When you prepare their hearts, which means when you help them have kavonah, then you make your ears listen. Then you listen to their prayer. During tefillah, if you have kavonah, it's going to be listened to. Now, why is that? Let's say my kid comes to me and he says to me, Abba, I really, really, really want to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. He's 8 years old. He has great kavonah. I'm going to answer him. I'm going to say, yes, you have great kavonah. I'm going to answer you. What's the idea? Why should that be? Why does more kavonah somehow make it that my tefillah is going to be answered? So listen to this beautiful idea. The Menairas HaMaor explains the following. There's a concept called an Eis Ratzon, which is a time of favor. There are certain special times during a chuppah. The Shekhinah is there. Your tefillah goes right to Hashem. During a bris, the Shekhinah is there. The tefillah goes, all the cries of the baby go straight into the Kisei HaKavod. You daven at that time, your tefillah is, it's called an Eis Ratzon, a time of favor. It's a special time where Hashem is just answering tefillahs readily. Says the Menairas HaMaor, it is so difficult to have kavanah that if you manage to pull off that trick, you manage to accomplish that feat of davening with kavanah, that creates an Eis Ratzon. It causes a special time. Hashem says, wow, you broke through to me. I'm thrilled, so to speak. Yeah? When you do that, it's an Eis Ratzon, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu answers your tefillahs. It's amazing. Now let's go a little further. The concept of kavonah is central to tefillah. The gematria of tefillah is the gematria of b'kavonas halev. The Abu Hadram says that. You know, I heard from Rav Orlik once. He said the value of a gematria is only the value of the person who says it. So if Altman comes along, the Altman Rebbe makes up his own gematrias. That's, you know, you can say that over on Purim when people are asleep in the middle of the night. That's fine. Yeah, but the Abu Hadram, he's a Rishon. He says the gematria of tefillah is b'kavonas halev. It's exact, because tefillah is in the heart. As a matter of fact, the mitzvah of tefillah is ula avdoi bechol levavecha. We should serve him with your whole heart. It's a heart-based thing. The Chovos HaLevavos says davening without kavanah is like a body without an neshama. A tefillah without kavanah is like a body without an neshama. What's a body without an neshama? It's dead. Right? Now, if you're experiencing tefillah as like, oh my gosh, you know, I can't daven, it's because there's missing some kavanah there. Right? It's not real. It's not alive. Imagine, you know, there's a husband and wife, and the husband's a nice guy, and they have a new baby. And really, you know, the baby's nursing, and he really can't do much now. But now and then, rarely the baby will take a bottle. So the wife's completely exhausted. It's the 4th time tonight the baby wakes up, and the wife says to the husband, can you please give the baby a bottle? He's like, okay, least I could do. He gets out of bed, barely keeps his eyes open, and gets the bottle, gives the bottle to the baby, goes back to sleep. The baby's still crying. The mother said, you give him the bottle? Yeah. Can't figure it out. The mother goes to see the baby crying. What's going on? Is a bottle without any formula. You know, it's a virtual bottle. Like, it's not real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, I gave him a bottle. What's the problem, right? Well, I'm sure he's a wonderful husband. He's not too good at taking care of his daughter in the middle of the night, right? The baby. If we daven without kavanah, it's so valuable. It is valuable. Even without kavanah, every tefillah is valuable. For sure, that's the case. And please do not be discouraged. Well, I never have kavanah, I shouldn't daven. No. Please daven. Even without kavanah, it's still a big deal. But when you daven with kavanah, you're putting the formula in the bottle. You're putting the electricity in the thing, yeah? You're putting the neshama, the soul. The Gemara says a chai is noisei es atzmoi. A person who's alive carries himself. Some spiritual idea that if you're carrying a person, even if they're unconscious, and they're alive, it's easier to carry them than if they've already passed on. A chai is noisei es atzmoi. If tefillah without kavanah is like a body without a soul, that means that tefillah without kavanah is like a dead body. And it's harder to carry. So if tefillah seems burdensome to us, one of the reasons for that is because it doesn't have that life in it. We're not injecting life into it. And it's not a chai that's nosei es atzmo. It's not alive that's carrying itself. When you pray very sincerely, Hashem answers your tefillah. The Kohen Gadol is in the Kodesh Kadoshim, the holiest place in the whole world, once a year on Yom Kippur, and it's for a short amount of time. On his way out, in those precious seconds, he davens for the Jewish people. One of the things he says is, Hashem, please give us rain And please do not answer the oivrei drachim, the travelers, when they ask for no rain. What does that mean? Listen to this amazing idea. Everybody knows in Eretz Yisrael, rain is critical. If we don't have rain, we're in trouble. And everybody wants rain. But temporarily, when a person's traveling in Eretz Yisrael in the old days, there were no roads. If it rained, there was mud everywhere, and it was extremely difficult to travel. And sometimes when that person was traveling, it was raining, even though he knows we need rain, and he might be a farmer and generally needs rain, he says, please Hashem, make it not rain. Now, how few people are actually doing that every year? It's a very small number. And there are millions of Jews every single year in Eretz Yisrael that are davening for rain. So why in the world does the Kohen Gadol spend his precious seconds in the Kodesh Kodashim asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to not listen to the prayers of those travelers? Why is that? So the answer is because this person, this man or this woman who's traveling, is praying with such intensity that it should stop raining, that his one prayer or her one prayer might be opposite and balanced with millions of other people's prayers for rain. So the Kodesh Kodashim, the Kohen Gadol says, please don't answer. This is a classic example when a person prays totally sincerely that it's going to be effective. Eitzes for better kavonah. Number one, if you daven b'kol, you daven out loud, it helps you concentrate. Now you can't daven Shemona Esrei out loud. The halacha is you daven Shemona Esrei just loud enough that you can hear yourself what you're saying, but no one else can hear you. If you happen to be davening in a place where it's anyway loud, there's background noise, you can daven a little bit more loudly because people can't hear you. It's wonderful. That's one thing. Second thing is shuckling. Rav Yaakov Emden says that if you shuckle when you daven, it helps you have kavonah. Now this is actually a machlokas. Some say not like that. Rav Moshe Feinstein daven straight as an arrow. Yeah? It depends on you. But either way, when you daven, if you shuckle, that can help you have kavonah. Or davening totally straight because I'm standing before Hashem, and when I talk to someone, I don't usually talk to them like that. That's also good. Now, I just want to add something which is very, very beautiful. Shuckling from Moshe Schwab, Rav Shimon Schwab Zatzal says something amazing. He says shuckling is like the angels. The angels, the malachim are called Ratz V'shuv. They run to Hashem, and they run away from Hashem. What's the idea? When they feel that they're far away from Hashem, they're running closer and closer. Hashem, I love you. I want to be closer to you, closer. As soon as you get closer to Hashem, wait a second, I'm starting to disappear. You only feel the unity of Hashem, and you don't feel your own individuality. So you get afraid. Every human being, every creature wants to survive. So you get too close. Oh, I'm disappearing. Then you run back further away. Oh, I'm getting too far away. I want to feel closer. Oh, too close. And back and forth. So malachim, in a certain sense, also shuckle. They go back and forth. We daven. When we shuckle, we say, Hashem, we want it close, but not too close. Further, too far away, close. We are acting in a way that's parallel to the malachim. Next, the Gemara says, if you daven in a place where there are windows, it helps you have kavonah. If you lose your kavonah in the middle of Shemona Esrei, stop for a second, look up at the sky just for a second, and then go back to what you're doing. That helps you have kavonah. It's important to combat the routine of davening, the regular, humdrum, day in, day out, the same thing. So one of the ways to do that is to add intention by thinking before I daven, what are my specific needs at this time? This person I know is sick, that person needs a shidduch, that person's having a hard time with his work or some other issue. Each thing I'm going to daven, ask yourself, where should I put that in Shemona Esrei? Oh, the sick person, Rifa'enu. Parnasa, Berech Aleinu. Person's having a problem with Shalom Bayis, Shalom Rav, or Sim Shalom. Think before you go into Shemona Esrei, I'm going to put that request in that section of Shemona Esrei. When you do that, it focuses you more and helps you have more kavonah. Next one is davening out of the siddur. If you daven 100% out of the siddur just by looking at the words, that helps kavonah. Some say an alternate way of doing it is to daven with your eyes closed the whole time, as long as you're sure that you know the words. Rav Pam Zatzal said that when you daven, it's good to keep your finger on the words as you say the words. That helps kavonah. Rav Aaron Feldman Shlita said the following. I don't think it's his idea, but I heard it from him. He said, when you daven Shemona Esrei, you daven any part of davening, when you come to the Shem Hashem, any name of Hashem, Elokim, Elokeinu, Shakai, Yud-Kei, Vav-Kei, any name, put your finger on the name of Hashem. Leave it there till you get to the next name of Hashem. Then again you do it. And then again you do it. This way the whole time your right hand, or your left hand if you're a lefty, you put it on that Shem of Hashem. It reminds you, makes you feel, it's a psychological trick that you're standing right before Hashem, and it works. Next, a makom kavua, a set place to daven, is tremendously helpful. Now some people say, how can I have a set place to daven? I daven here, I daven there. Okay, generally speaking, if you could make a decision to daven in one place, or to minimize the number of places that you daven, that will help. If you daven in several different places, in each place you daven, pick a place. In this place, that's my spot. By the way, when it says my spot, it means Dalet Amos, which is about a 7-foot radius. So it doesn't have to be right there. It could be right next to it, right behind it, right in front of it. That's also fine. Using the same siddur all the time will also help. Same siddur will help you all the time. It's the same surah hadaf. You don't get confused. This is the siddur that I use. Awesome. In addition to that, if you can write notes in the siddur, especially notes from a shir that you hear, that you like, an idea that you hear, oh, that applies this idea, you write it in the siddur, it mechazik your whole davening. One of the most effective ways to have better kavonah is simply to slow down. It doesn't mean my davening is going to be a long davening. It means that in a short amount of time, for these two brachas, or the next 5 minutes, I'm going to daven slowly and clearly and give myself plenty of time to daven. People make the mistake when they daven of saying the words and then afterwards thinking about what it means. Now that's wonderful. It's a good thing, but that's more like learning than it is davening. Davening is as I'm saying the words, or even before I say the words, I think about what they mean. So the Chofetz Chaim gives this eitzah. He says, when you're davening Shemona Esrei, in one bracha, just practice on one bracha at a time. Say, you know what? Before I say the next 3 words, I'm going to think what these 3 words mean. Okay, it means this and this. Then say them. Now the next 3 words. Now sometimes it's 2 words, sometimes it's 4 words. It depends on what's a good, neat little phrase. But think before you say those words. I'm going to stop for a second. I'm thinking about these words. Okay, now I say them. Now, as you say them, they have the meaning. If you have the meaning afterwards, it's good for your mind, but it's not the same thing for the prayer. Next, a way to have better kavonah is to pray for better kavonah. Please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, help me concentrate. Help me focus. Help me know I'm talking to you. Help me know what the words mean. Fantastic way to do it. Next, there's a concept of katnus hamochin and gadlus hamochin. It's a concept that's brought in Kabbalah. I just want to use it in a very, very simple, overly simple way. Super simplistic way. There's a concept of expansiveness and contraction. When you're in a bad mood, when you're nervous, when you're angry, when you're worried, when you're scared, you're like overwhelmed, you can't think, you're kind of like constricted. Yeah, even anger is a constricted state. It's not creativity. It's not positive flow. Then there's a state of expansiveness when you're happy, when you're feeling secure and taken care of, when you feel love or you love someone else. That's a state of expansiveness. That's gadlus hamochin. That's when your mind expands. So when you daven, you want to be in that state also. It means you want to do anything you can to avoid being in a state of sadness or a state of depression. You want to release feelings of sadness from your heart and from your mind, and then you're in a state to pray. Now, it actually makes sense because if you're going to meet the king and you're depressed, the king's like, look, I don't know whatever's going on with you, but it's a big thing to meet me and talk to me. Not too many people get in here and talk to me. I'm the king, right? So if you go into the king, it's a little bit of it's not so much kavod to the king. The effectiveness in our tefillah and the ability to have kavonah is really dependent on our state of simcha. The Mishnah Berurah says it's important to have Yiras Shamayim, etc., etc., etc. Right at the beginning, it says when it comes to tefillah and Torah, you have to have simcha. So even though you're thinking about Yerushalayim and the Beis Hamikdash is destroyed, you think about that all the time, you can't let it pull you down to the point or anything else pull you down where you can't have kavonah. What I'm about to tell you now is very, very powerful and extremely important. The Torah, forerunner of the Shulchan Aruch, says one who prays has to have kavonah, and he quotes the same pasuk that we said before, Tachin libam, takshiv asnecha. Hashem, when you help them have kavonah, you prepare their hearts, takshiv asnecha, then you'll listen. When you help them have kavonah, then you'll hear their tefillas. The Bach says the fact that the pasuk says you prepare their hearts shows that it's not really within a person's ability to have kavonah. And Hashem, once you prepare their hearts, then they'll have kavonah. So if that's the case, so what do you want me to do? What do you want? Yeah. If Hashem helps me, I have kavonah. If Hashem doesn't help me, I don't have kavonah. So the question becomes, and the Torah asks this, how do you get Hashem to help you have kavonah? This is what you do. Listen to the words. She's oirer ha'adam. We have to awaken ourselves. V'yaskim b'daitoi. I make a firm decision. L'chavein, to have kavonah. All I can do is decide I'm going to do the best I can to have kavonah. Really, I know it's beyond me. In 3 seconds, I'm thinking about something else. Am I milchik yet? Yeah? What am I doing tomorrow? Yeah? You hear that sound? Are you still listening to this year? Whatever, right? There's a zillion thoughts that go through your head every single second. But when you think to yourself, hold on a second, I don't have the ability to have kavonah, but I'm going to try as much as I can. Hashem says, Habol l'taher Messiah noisoi. If you come to fix yourself up, even if it's beyond your ability, I'm going to help you. You come to become more tahor, you're trying to make yourself a better person, I'm going to help you. So the Torah says, the entire hope that we have for having kavonah is just in our own decision to have Kavonnoh, and then Hashem helps us. In other words, it's all based on Habola Taher Messiah Noisoi. It's all based on we make a decision, Hashem, I'm doing it. Even though I can't, I'm trying everything I can to have Kavonnoh. I know I'm not going to be successful, but I'm trying. Hashem says, oh, you're doing that? I'll give you Kavonnoh. Okay, this is a very important idea. It's completely beyond us to have proper Kavonnoh. But if we do everything we can, Hashem helps us, then we have Kavonnoh. That's amazing. That's a very important idea. Okay, so that's how you have Kavonnoh. A bunch of different ways to have Kavonnoh. Work on any one of these things one at a time, and Be'ez Hashem over a long period of time, even a short period of time, you have tremendous Kavonnoh. It should be the Ratzon HaKadosh Baruch Hu that you should answer all of our tefillahs l'toiva. All the best.